Today I'll be reviewing a perfume from L'Officine Universelle Buly, and it is from their Louvre collection called the La Baigneuse in this little travel spray bottle here. And Buly 1803 is one of my favorite brands. They are a really old French apothecary type brand that started in 1803. And they kind of went away for a while, and they were revived by the same people that revived Cire Trudon, which is a very well-known candle brand in France as well. And they're one of my favorite candle brands, and I have a candle up from Cire Trudon right there as well. So the Louvre collection started when the Louvre Museum went to Buly and said, hey, could you please curate a perfume collection inspired by the artwork in the museum? And Buly went out and worked with 8 perfumers, and the perfumers had free reign as to what artwork they could choose and what materials and what kind of perfumes they would create from those paintings and artworks and whatever it might be that they could find at the Louvre Museum. So it came in this 12, kind of a dozen box for me. And it's the special Louvre collection 12 set box. And because there are only 8 perfumes from the Louvre line, it also has 4 perfumes from their main line. And those are the Rose Damask, Fleur d'Orange, and Tuberose du Mexique, and the Lichen de Acos, and those are also included, making up the dozen set here. If you don't want to buy the travel set, of course there's full bottles available on their website as well for each of the 8 Louvre collection. I want to touch upon their formula before I begin the full review, because it is quite different and it's a unique experience. And if you don't know how to use and apply these perfumes, you might think that they're really not that great. One thing to note is that they're water-based. There's called this special formula called O Triple, and like I said, it's water-based, and that's what makes them special and kind of stand out as opposed to the more usual alcohol-based perfumes that are out there. So because it is water-based and it's an emulsion, I suppose, you do have to shake them quite vigorously. And it is recommended on every single one of these sprayers. You can see in the back that they do recommend that you agitate it before you use it. And I totally understand that, because when I don't shake these bottles, the sprayer doesn't seem to work as well. When I don't shake it, it kind of comes out in clumps and kind of very weak spray. But when I do agitate the sprayers, the sprayer works really well, gives it a nice fine spray, and it seems to kind of affect the the scent as well, because it is not mixed properly. If you don't give it a good shake, if you want to get that full effect of the scent materials in it, I highly recommend that you agitate it quite a bit. And I'm not talking about a second or 2. I personally do like a good 10-second shake of these perfumes before I spray them onto my skin. And once I spray it onto my skin, usually what I do with perfumes is that I don't necessarily rub them, but I do like a dab here and there, stuff like that. With these ones, I'm just spraying it and letting them dry. I don't touch them, even if there's this kind of clumps of droplets on my wrist. I just let them dry. That seems to really help with the longevity of these perfumes and the progression of these perfumes, and help them really give you that full effect that they're supposed to give you. Another thing is that because it's water-based, Although there is a slight progression, like the top, middle, and bass note, you kind of get the full effect, the full spectrum of all the notes in the perfume right at once in the beginning. You don't have to wait for it at the end. So you might smell more in the beginning and then you smell less. Maybe that's the progression, but it's a little bit different compared to the usual alcohol-based perfumes that we're used to. So going to the perfume itself, like I said, it's called the La Baigneuse, and that just means the bather. It's based on a perfume by Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, and he is one of my favorite painters, and this happens to be one of my favorite paintings as well. It depicts a woman at the end of her bathing ritual, and she's sitting by herself alone, and you see her back, and her back is just absolutely beautiful. The skin quality is just absolutely amazing, and she's sitting on some dry linen, and there's some trickling water in the background, and you can see some incense too, and she has a pair of slippers kind of nonchalantly dangling from her feet, and there's this kind of stillness, kind of meditativeness to the painting, and I really enjoy that about this painting. It's really, really exquisite, and I highly recommend that you seek it out. So this perfume, to me, I would describe it as a iris musky perfume with orange blossom and incense accents. There's that quiet mood that I talked about. It's quite airy. It's really clean, but not necessarily laundry-like or functional. You know, I keep mentioning sheets, but it doesn't smell like something that you would use for cleaning your bed sheets or something that you would use in your household. It feels quite old world, but not super old or vintage. It just feels very elegant, and it makes sense because the perfumer is Daniela Andrier, and she is the perfumer for Prada Infusion de Iris, so it has the same kind of quiet elegance that you find in those perfumes as well. So it's clean, musky, but elegant. The website talks about patchouli. I don't smell it much here. If it is in here, and I'm sure it is, it's there to give it some interest and make it a bit more plush, a more fuller kind of composition, but I don't necessarily would peg this as a patchouli perfume. To me, it is a clean incense perfume with nice florals in the background, and it's that very clean incense aspect of this perfume that I really, really love. So projection wise, I would say this is not a monster projector. There's no huge sillage to be expected from this one. By the second hour mark, this was almost a skin scent for me. But I did notice that it perfumes your immediate area. So you can really enjoy your surrounding area with this beautiful scent. And somebody who's like 3 feet away from you is not necessarily going to smell this, but if they come into your immediate area, they will be able to enjoy this as well. So what I really enjoy about this perfume is that sensation of dried linen sheets washed with soap, and it's very fine milled, beautiful soap, and it's just kind of dry and lovely texture. You can kind of feel that texture. It's very texture heavy perfume. You get that sense of dryness, and I really enjoy this as well. And I think that dryness comes from some aspect of lavender that's in here, which I really love. So this is a beautiful perfume to enjoy that quiet stillness, kind of meditative, intimate quality that you can see in the painting. So if you love the painting, this is a really good expression of that painting. So I highly recommend that you check this out.